wonderful ideas and suggestions for guests and topics.
Great events, programs, and all the countries, and listen to
Welcome to this week's segment of Dialogue Houston. I'm your host, Lawrence Payne. To our regular viewing audience, welcome. For those perhaps joining us for the first time here for HCC's TV Dialogue Houston, we can be found now every Tuesday and Thursday, and again at Tuesday and Thursday at 6 p.m., and again on Saturday afternoons at 3 p.m. As always, on top of the hour, let me thank you for your thoughtful calls, emails, suggestions for guests to be covered on future segments of Dialogue Houston, because this, after all, is your community affairs, public affairs show, proudly here on HCC TV into its 32nd season. We have a great show planned for you today. We're going to look at a couple of aspects in our community. One that's very dear to my heart in the first segment, which is this wonderful organization called Houston Habitat for Humanity. That doesn't get any clearer, any simpler, any more profound, and what it does in its mission with clarity and transparency and accountability. They have a great vision, a world where everyone has a decent place to live. A world where everyone has a decent place to live. About affordable homes by having affordable mortgages, by helping them build their own home through sweat equity, building homes alongside volunteers, making new friends. It is a perfect organization whose mission is seeking to put God's love into action, bringing people together to build homes and communities that changes people's lives. Covers a lot of social inequities, a lot of racial inequities. It is a perfect program. It has a very special place in my heart from the time that I had a chance to spend with it. So we're going to look at an aspect of the Habitat for Humanity's family, one that perhaps you know about, one that you don't know about for many people, and that's the Habitat Restore. And I'm very happy to talk about the Habitat Restore because we need to know more about it. Before I introduce our guests, let me just give a shout out to Allison Hay, our Executive Director at Houston Habitat for Humanity, for the wonderful job she's been doing now. For I think 10 years plus, and has grown the organization tremendously. So I just wanted to say hello to her and acknowledge that factor. So joining me as part of the Habitat family today is Adam McClarin, who is the Restore Director. He'll tell you all about the Restore. You probably passed it on South Loop East. There's also another one that you probably don't know about in the Heights. But I'm going to turn it over Adam and say, look, it's just a wonderful program to be part of it. Habitat's 40 years old, started in 1987 here in Houston. We've built about 7,000 homes. But Restore is a special place that you need to know about because not only does it help in the way that it provides services to the community, but also helps Habitat in what you purchase there. I'm going to stop enough. Turn it over to Adam. Adam, welcome. So great to have you join us and good to have you with us.
Thank you, Larry. Thanks for having me on the show. I'm very honored to get to talk to the community about what the Restore is. And it is true. Many people have driven by our location and they don't know if it's open for the public or what is it, what do you guys have in that store? I will tell you that we are I call it an omni-channel of hope. That's the term I use when I look at the Restores. I've been here now for 2 years, going on 3 in January, and I will tell you that we are not a thrift store. We are a location that has purpose. When you step into, for example, the South Loop location, you're just not going to find building materials and plywood. You're going to find state-of-the-art refrigerators. You're going to find leather couches. You're going to find brand new furniture that you're going to get at beyond lower than retail price. And the purpose of what we do, one is to fund our mission. One of that's to help, that net profit goes to buying land, goes to building, getting materials to build homes. But the second part of it, what drives me is I know that I'm changing families within the community. So I know a lot of people aren't lucky enough to have a brand new appliance that will give you food that stays fresh for a long period of time. I wanted to change the concept where you can come into my store and instead of spending $4,000, you can spend a fraction of that price and have something in your home that's going to take care of yourself and your family. And that's one thing that we're really working on providing in both of my locations. And Larry, and we have an online location as well, that you have brand new items at that same restore price. And when you look at all of that, there's one more piece that people don't realize. We've saved, I can't even give you an estimate number, but thousands upon thousands upon thousands of tons of materials from going into the landfill by us accepting these donations from residential and corporate to resell and repurpose in our stores. So we're helping the environment in the city of Houston. We're also helping the communities in our city, and we're building for them as well.
What people tell me who have gone to the Restore is that they're always surprised at what they can find. It blows them away. When they turn those corners, they're surprised. Oh my goodness, you have this, you have that. I didn't think you carried any kind of this stuff. But because you get donations from all over, and you get good donations, you get stuff from people who are just remodeling their house. Nothing wrong with the stuff they're getting rid of. They just tired of it and want to remodel their home.
Yes.
And so you get all this good stuff, and you, like you said, you have a purpose for it. It has a purpose to be reused.
You hit the nail on the head right there, Larry. I mean, you never know what's going to come in these doors. You never know what's going to come through, and it truly is remarkable that we get something that everyone needs. And I've learned that through the years of being here. I mean, we'll get donations of toiletries, and yes, for surprise again, I saw a family. They were excited. They got paper towels, toilet tissue, and they bought 2 chairs for their kitchen.
Right.
And that alone, the kid was like, I've been looking for this chair for a while. And I'm like, really? That chair? Like, how? But again, it's true. We are a treasure chest. And I welcome people all the time. Come to our stores and you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised day in and day out, Larry.
And if you want to donate, you can drop off or you can call us and we'll pick it up, right?
Yes, we do online pickup as well. You go on our website, HoustonHabitat.org. We will do pickup for you. We also do delivery if you get items from our stores now. So we're really trying to make it, a total solution for our city.
Does the Restore still do material demolition? And
currently no, but that's going to be something we're going to look at in the future.
Because I know y'all used to kind of do that and get a lot of stuff from those homes that were to be repurposed.
Definitely.
And you even have Prime Days.
Yes, did you see how we waited until the big Prime Day was done, not to, so our online store, we're doing Prime Days now, and it's all great items that you can pick up in our South Loop location or have it shipped to you.
So it really has grown and developed and changed over the years to become, as you said, more than a thrift store, more than a bargain store, more than a resale shop, more than a building materials place. It is a little bit of everything for everybody.
Yes.
And the best way to experience it is to come see and walk through it. And I can tell you, you will find something that will surprise and amaze you. And you'll usually leave with it and buy it and take it home.
Oh, yes.
Because it's really kind of a fascinating, and take the time to go through it. You have to kind of walk slowly as you go through it. So what else? So the store in the Heights is basically the same as the one on the East Loop?
Yes, it's a smaller footprint, around 11,000 square feet.
Right.
However, you're going to get most of the same products in both stores. We reallocated that space so you can have that same experience. So building materials will be there as well. Both stores offer very low cost cabinets. So we do custom cabinets, we order cabinets, donated cabinets as well. So again, we are a one-stop shop in that small location. I mean, it packs a lot in there. I'll tell you, people go in there as well, and they say, "Well, I'm not going to go to Home Depot. I'm going to come here now," you
Oh,
know, because
okay.
and that's my goal. I still want donations. I love Home Depot for donations,
Right,
but if you really want to support the city and support the community and support I'll tell you a small business, come to the restores. Because we have the staff here that not just care for what we do, but they know they're doing it with a purpose.
right.
Every staff member we have knows that doorknob, and I tell them the story, the doorknob, that nail, it's putting a frame in someone's home. It's putting a cabinet, it's helping put a bed in someone's house, right? So,
Right.
you get to come in here and you get to leave with a bag, preferably, and feeling good about yourself and what you've done.
And you could actually also come and volunteer, right?
Yes, you can. We have a full-fledged volunteer service. We have volunteers Monday through Saturday. You can come, we have 2 shifts, do a full shift. You'll get to one, you can even go on our routes with our drivers, our ambassadors, or you can be in the store helping procure donations. You can be helping customers on the floor. There's so many different things, working on the online store. I mean, I have a list. There's always something to do in these stores. I'll tell you that much. There's always something. And I would love people to inquire about that volunteer program.
So I just want to make sure people focus on that, because if you don't feel comfortable or you're not feeling like you can go out and volunteer and swing a hammer and help frame a home, here's another way as a volunteer you can serve Habitat for Humanity to the Restore and have that same experience as a volunteer giving back and the wonderful things that go with that feeling of doing something actually. So it's important. So as we move forward through this wonderful Restore thing, what's next on the horizon for the Restore? Got any big plans coming up?
Well, we just had a very good community event, and we're gonna plan another one in October roughly, which we're gonna have a lot of nonprofits in our South Loop location. So I definitely want to make sure that's out there. Follow our social media pages, Restore Houston and Houston Restore on Facebook. And you'll get to really see we have a lot of community events we're planning, and slowly we're hoping at some point to have another store down the pipeline. So there's a lot of things in motion to expand our horizons.
All right. Somebody told me they drove by a few months ago and they saw a big tent in front of it.
Yeah.
So what was that event?
So that was our first community event. We wanted to give it a shot and see how it went in the store. We had around 7 to 8 vendors inside the store selling books and lemonade and so forth. And it went really well. The past week was larger. We had 21 vendors in the building, including the HPD. It was a huge turnout. We had Kona Ice outside, music blaring,
All right.
and it shocked people because, again, they said, "Oh, you guys do this too?" Yes, I said, my goal is that our restores to do anything you can possibly think of
All right.
to support our communities.
And you said the next one will probably be in October?
Around October, November, yes.
Okay. All right. That's a wonderful community event.
Yes.
So let's talk about Habitat itself has really grown and developed in this city and community. And I think for people to make sure that they have the connection between the building of the homes and the restore, that's a very clear, important connection to have in people's mind, how much one helps and benefits the other. And that it gives everybody a chance, like I said, to volunteer in the store or at Habitat. Anything coming down the pipe on the Habitat side, on the home building side that you'd like to mention?
Well, we are in the process of our Robbins Landing. Again, building communities and hope. Our focus is not to build communities. Our focus is just to take that next level and really show the sustainability that we have. And one thing I do remind people that we seldom mention, Larry, is our gardens.
Yeah.
I implore people that, if you don't want to go out to go to the restore, or go to, hit a hammer, go to those gardens, because again, nourishment and food is something that we take advantage of day in and day out. And we also do that. We make sure in those food deserts that you have that availability to get your own fruit, your own vegetables. So, again, can we make the people know what we have as a totality of an organization, right? And I really hope that, we can get that message out to the communities that we offer a lot of different resources and outreach, Larry.
Well, tell us some more about the gardens and where they are.
We have one in Setagast, and they're community based. They do support those areas again where there's no HEB, there's no Kroger, you have to walk 45 minutes to an hour if you're lucky to pick up groceries. So we do have these gardens with fair share of vegetables, fruits, herbs, and so forth. And if you were to go on our website and go on our volunteer portal, you'll see we have garden opportunities as well from time to time. So again, we'd love people to get to meet our family partners there, and you get to, again, if you have a green thumb, we also look for that as well. What help can you give us? What advice can you give us if you're a specialist in agriculture and so forth? So we are always open for new and innovative ideas to help expand. So that's something that we would love to have as well.
And again, tell us a little bit about it's Robin's Nest. Is that it?
Robin's Landing. That's going to be a
Yeah.
multi. It's still in development. We did the groundbreaking with KPRC a couple months ago.
Right.
Groundbreaking. This is a community we're building. We're building a multi-unit community with partners. That's going to again change the scope of our city.
And where is this located?
It's closer to, I think, our north, and don't quote me, it's closer to around our Setagast area, in that same vicinity, a little northern of it. And again, it's on our webpage. And
Okay.
we have a whole special for Robin's Landing on our page now.
All right. And how many homes will it be when it's completed?
I think it's over 400 multi-unit families.
Wow.
Yeah, it's going to be beautiful. It's going to be beautiful.
Well, that's a great endeavor.
Oh yes.
And of course, a lot of the homes in the communities and the neighborhoods that Habitat has built over the years in different parts of the city have really made a difference in that part of the community.
Oh, yeah.
Became kind of the anchor for those communities. And Habitat homes are well built. We proved that through the hurricanes. Most of our homes had very little, if any, damage. I was part of the organization at the time after Katrina, and we built a wonderful subdivision called Angel Lane for the survivors from New Orleans who came in, and the whole subdivision people from New Orleans. And I think those are the kind of things that you have to look at Habitat for doing and doing well. The homes are so solidly and well built, people are surprised. And so it has grown and developed, and over the years, and the techniques we use, both nationally and here across the board, makes a big difference. So, the world of Habitat, the homes, the gardens, the restore, all of that is so important in our community and for our community to know about. And I guess as we kind of get toward the end of this show, I want to make sure I leave some time for you to add anything that we have not touched on as we go forward here.
I think really, the one thing that I always, when I talk to vendors or donors, the one thing I tell them, and it's going to go back to what I just said earlier, Larry, for me, it's not just donations of product and how it's donation of services. How can you help us get to more communities? How can you help us get more outreach? That's very big for us. When we talk about, again, the South Loop store, like Larry, I told you the story. I didn't know what the restore was at first. Then when I knew all of the work that Habitat did, but when I stepped into these stores, people just don't realize what a gold mine, and I just have what a treasure it is to have in our communities. And I really want the public to know that, again, if you're not that person who's handy, come by our stores. It's not just about donate the time, be a volunteer, donate your ideas. I'm always welcome and to learn and do more to make us more efficient, to make us more successful. So I think that's one thing I want to leave with, is I want donations of innovation, right? Donations of ideology. I think that's something that we have to also look at as well to grow and expand ourselves, Larry.
Well said, Adam. And I think that's the future. That's the growth and development. That's the change agent part. That's the innovation, as you said. That's the transformation. And all that kind of goes into it. Let me close with these thoughts about habitat in the larger kind of context. We have spent a lot of time looking at this issue of equity and social justice. Habitat is clearly a program geared toward equity and social justice. And I always think that there are three components that we must focus on going forward in this wonderful, diverse society we live in, multicultural, multiracial, multi-ethnic, multi-religion, and kind of begin to think about how we view the other in relationship to each other. One is a question that has still to be asked and understood. What is the fair, moral, and ethical treatment of all human beings? What is the fair, moral, and ethical treatment of all human beings? All human beings matter. All human beings' lives are equal. That's kind of where we left the discussion after the George Floyd thing. Still trying to wrestle with what that looks like. What's that baseline that we should expect everyone to have in our society? We spent a lot of time arguing over that, because until we can kind of address that question, to get to the second component will be a little difficult. So equity is the question. Habitat understands that in the way that it pronounces its mission and vision. And basically equity goes something like this. The road to equity is through empathy. There is no equity without empathy. So if you would draw a triangle, put the human being in the middle of the triangle, put equity at the top of the triangle, to the left of the triangle, put the word empathy, and to the right, put the word relationship. That the quality of our equity, the proportional size of our equity depends deeply on our empathy. The more empathy, the more equity. And how do you get empathy? You get empathy through relationships. Relationships nurtured, develop, and maintain on mutual trust and respect, because no one does anything for anyone or anybody they don't trust. Our relationships in this city need to be broadened, need to be more inclusive, more holistic. Yes, we're the most diverse city in America. We're also the most gated community in America. We're the most segregated community in America. So we need to reach out, reach across, and develop relationships. Those relationships is what allow people to develop empathy for each other, empathy for someone that does not look like me, and begin to talk about what true equity looks like as we go forward in this society. Because really, in the end, human beings were not meant to just to survive, nor even to thrive. Human beings were meant to flourish, to flourish. It's all about flourishing, flourishing to the fullness of one's God-given potential. And how do you do that? By being afforded every opportunity that you need to flourish. Obviously, affordable housing is one of those things. Being able to have that ability to have affordable housing and affordable mortgage. That's why the system is so pure and so clearly delineated through Habitat. And that we allow people to give them that opportunity to grow, to extend, to exceed even some of their wildest expectations. There's nothing like home ownership. At the dedication of those homes, the smiles on those faces, the stories they tell you, people who have been renters all their lives. Some families generations have been renters. And so to finally have someone in the family to own a home is a major accomplishment. That's how you start the flourishing. So it involved with Habitat, whether it's in the building of the home, whether it's in the community garden, whether it's at our wonderful restore and go join Adam as a volunteer and do some great work there. But do something to help transform people's lives in a wonderful, wonderful way. That's what we're called to do. That's what we're meant to do. Because in the end, it all goes back to the wonderful, wonderful Habitat's mission, which I love so greatly because it says it all. Seeking to put God's love into action, bringing people together to build homes and communities and to change lives, generational lives, the next generation, changing families' lives forever in their wonderful quest to develop their understanding of flourishing. It is that movement, it is that opportunity, it is a chance to do that. And so we go forward in that spirit. Adam laid it out so well for you about what you can do, how you can get involved. He gave you his heart reason of why he feels so strongly about the work that he does at the Restore. All people associated with Habitat have that same feeling among the staff because they can see lives changed every day. But I do think in our society that this question of equity is going to be the premier number one thing that we have to address. And we have to figure out how to do equity in the way that is fair and just to all human beings. We're great at charity. We love charity. We'll do charity all day. Charity is downstream response to the issues and the causes we see. Equity and justice is going upstream to look at what caused the issues to start with and get involved in policy change, eradication. It's hard work, it's long work, it's dedication. You won't see change quickly. But it's not a question of charity or justice, it's charity and justice. You need them both. So as we think about giving more and helping through charity, which is great, the downstream reaction, spend some time thinking about going upstream and look at the causes that focus us to do so much downstream charity. We got to get out of here. I probably went on too long on that little piece at the end, but it was important to put this in context because I feel strongly about it. So until we come together again, be well, be safe, and as always, peace, power, and love.
Hey Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look,